Hi, this is Matt Reisinger with Reisinger Homes. Welcome to my video blog on green building and building science. I'm here at a house that my company finished not too long ago. That the architect was James D LaRue Architecture, and they did a really interesting job with the exterior material palette on this house. I thought I'd show you a couple things on this house that you might consider when you're building your house. We talked on an earlier video post about the burnished block. We use that here in this open carport. It's a really nice modern material. It's not super expensive, but it's a very interesting finished look. And then as you look back through this house here, this has a really interesting, we call it a California courtyard type effect, where we've got our storefront windows that are sandwiched between some columns of some different materials. That column in the center there is a cement board artisan siding by James Hardie, which is their super thick cement-based product. So that'll last really the lifetime of the house. And then we've got some more CMU block, although that's not burnished in that case, that's standard CMU. And then I wanted to show you specifically some of the exterior beams that we use for structure and also for good looks on this house. The architect spec on this roof here, this is all 2x6 pine that's tongue and groove, and that's actually the structure of the roof above. And then those long beams that are running horizontally there, or front to back on this house, those are PSLs, that's parallel strand lumber. So that's a recycled pine product that's long strands of pine that have been woven together structurally and of course glued, and that makes for a super strong beam that's really all recycled. And then the beam that comes horizontally across that's called a GlueLam beam, which is really layers of 2x6s that have been built up. It looks like there's about 10 layers or so of 2x6s that have been built up and glued, and it makes a super strong beam. And of course now we didn't have to cut down one massive tree to get that. We were able to use very fast growing pine. And the thing I like about pine in particular, it's a fairly local resource. There's a lot of southern pine grown in the United States by a lot of manufacturers, and they do a really good job of managing their forests, where they're able to cut those trees down that are fairly young, 15 to 20-year-old trees, replant those, and those trees are rapidly renewing. And then one other product I wanted to show you on here in this kind of airplane wing area that the architect designed specifically to keep sun out of the house in the summertime there. It's got 1x6 tongue and groove pine on there, so that's just a 3/4 inch thick pine that's a tongue and groove, and we flipped it over so there'd be no bevel. This is the smooth side on the tongue and groove, which typically is up, but in this case it's showing. It's a little more of a contemporary look. And once we stain that, it just really makes for a very interesting soffit material. And again, it's fairly rapidly renewable, rapidly growing, and not that expensive pine to use in comparison to some other more expensive woods. So there's some great palette of materials in this house. I think there's some good options here if you're building a contemporary styled house for you to talk to your architect about. Thanks for joining me. Have a good day. We'll see you soon.